All right, y'all, welcome back. Today we're going to be breaking down Syracuse slot wide receivers versus Tennessee Stars. And I think that this matchup could have a big impact on the outcome of this game. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be starting right here with Jonte Cook, who is a five-star wide receiver coming out of high school. And he chose Texas first, and then I think he went on to Washington. But he is currently with Syracuse. Very, very good player. He is extremely fast. He tracks the football very, very well, and he can make you miss after the catch. It sounds like he's had a great fall camp up to this point, and he's probably going to be Syracuse starting star. Now, I want to show y'all how Syracuse uses their star players. We'll start right here with their stats from ESPN in 2024. The first thing that should jump out to everybody are these passing numbers just for the whole team. Almost 5,000 yards. Now, that quarterback's not going to be back, but their just like passing scheme is excellent. We will be jumping into the film room and breaking down how it looks just for the slot wide receivers. But most teams like to utilize their slots a lot. It's not just with this like slot bodies, so like those smaller wide receivers, but also with tight ends, with some bigger guys. Syracuse will mix and match, but mostly I think it's going to end up being Jonte Cook. So looking at these pass catching numbers, Pena, who's a guy that a lot of Tennessee fans wanted coming out of that transfer portal, I'm definitely one of them. I think he's a very, very talented guy, but Jonte Cook might be even more talented. But look at his numbers. He actually led the team in pass catching touchdowns. And then also Gill, he's going to be back. He's mostly going to be like an outside wide receiver, but he will get some burn in that slot. Like we said, tight ends will also get some looks there as well. So yes, this is a pass first team, and they do a great job throwing the football. It's going to be a lot of stress, not just on Tennessee's star players, but really on our whole defense. We've got to find a way to be able to get home. We won't be talking too much on that today, but star players, safeties, linebackers, how does the coverage look based off of what Syracuse does? Well, and also who's going to be playing for Tennessee? My vote is that Boo Carter gets to start just because, I think that J-Mac's really good. I think that he can hold his own for sure. But he's going to end up getting gas. Whoever our star player is will definitely be getting gas. Most of our secondary players will be gas because they throw the football so much. But with all those things being said, I do feel like, we have to watch out for what are the different coverages, right? Like, are we playing two safeties deep, or do we trust our safeties to do some man-to-man type of things? But either way, this is the route tree, okay? This is with PFF, but this is Syracuse's route tree with their slot players. Very balanced. You're seeing just like a plethora of different routes here, and they, mix things up. So going back to my point, going to be very, very stressful on this whole defense, and we have to find a way. I feel like Coach Banks will find a way to slow down whatever their, whatever Syracuse's game plan is. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this film room, and let's talk about how they like to use their slots. So outs is what they run the absolute most at 19%. It could be quick outs. Again, it could be with the smaller guys, with the tight ends, with the bigger wide receivers that also have really good speed. Just a very difficult cover. And they'll, come up to the line of scrimmage, see, hey, this team is playing man, then they'll run some man beaters, or hey, this team is playing zone, then they'll run some zone beaters. They're really, really good at that. They'll shift, they'll motion. Not going to be simple. So they also run these deeper routes that take more time. You can see here that this defense is playing a zone. I think that this is Pitt, but it's wide open, right? So that safety was more in coverage for that. But here they will also run a ton of goals. So that's just like vertical routes, fades, so on and so forth at 18%. This is just a seam. So it could be Tennessee star. Mostly it probably would be Tennessee star, but it could be a linebacker. Like I said, this is going to dictate the coverage that Tennessee plays. You probably don't want your linebackers one-on-one versus Jonte Cook, who's probably like a 4-3 guy. That's not going to work out. You need some safety help over the top. But they'll also run these switch routes with these slot fades, especially once they get inside of these 20s. This is a red zone special for them. And you'll see that the guy with that purple route, he's picking that star player off, okay, and kind of that safety too, wide open. They're not going to be scared to throw the football, into some of these tighter windows. I think that their coach just teaches them, hey, we want you guys letting it rip. Just like Coach Halsley says, he's not the only coach that's out there saying it. But here, you see that motion coming over, and they will run these like slot fades, but also it'll be like back shoulder. So upfield shoulder, backfield shoulder. I think that this one's going to be more of like an upfield shoulder. You're seeing the same thing with that outside wide receiver blocking that star player and kind of, that outside corner. He's got to figure out who are you guarding. Leave a guy wide open, okay? So, yes, it's going to be pretty stressful on this defense. But also, look at this. This is a wheel route. Those outside wide receivers are pretty much pinning the defense to the inside. Now you're getting one-on-one, very favorable matchup for Syracuse. They will also do these wide receiver quick screens, but not just wide receivers, Running backs do it too. They do it a lot of different ways, almost at 13%. You've got blockers out there. Get your playmakers the football out in space. Tough on those stars, tough on those corners, tough on safeties and outside linebackers to be able to maintain leverage, beat those blocks, and make open field tackles. It is going to be huge, I think, for Tennessee to work a lot on coverage with all of our, skilled players, but also open field tackling. That should be a strong point of emphasis, over the course of fall camp, because this is our first game. It's going to be a great test for us. Now, this is a bubble screen here, but I want for y'all to look at those other wide receivers, not the one that's kind of circled with that yellow color, but the other ones too, because they're going to start off blocking and then they end up running those routes. So if you're playing star, if you're playing corner, if you're playing safety, or maybe even linebacker, you can't just say, hey, we've seen so many of these wide screens that as soon as these guys show that they're blocking, we're going to bite up hard. It's because they will also show the blocking, run the routes. You have to play discipline. And you can see some of those guys were actually kind of open, but it puts so much stress on the defense. They have, levels to what they're doing, layers to what they're doing. This is a time when there's a running back going out on this kind of like bubble screen. But I don't know if this is a true running back or if this is a slot wide receiver that they lined up as a running back, but they can do just a plethora of different things. And star is going to be huge for us. That's the main kind of like point man with those screens and with all of that type of stuff. So now these are hitches. They like to do this at 15%. Typically versus a zone like this, you find that empty spot, sit it down, very, very tough. So like I said, they'll run those man beaters versus man. They'll run the zone beaters versus zone. And we're already seeing out breaking routes. In breaking routes, vertical routes, comeback routes. You have to play everything so honest that it is going to be tough. Okay, I can definitely guarantee you that. So this is a tight end, right? And he's coming over in motion. That previous hitch, that was a tight end too. But they will outflank defenses, and they just put a ton of stress on a defensive coordinator. But this is up to Tim Banks. Can he get it figured out? I think he typically has very, very good game plans, especially versus these types of offenses. But these are slants. They like to run this at 9.1%. Like we said, man, they've already showed, they've already shown that they will go outside, inside, vertical, comebacks. So whenever you're seeing these slot guys playing it kind of like star, they have to honor it. Like, you can't cheat either way because it could go anywhere. Now here, this slot guy, he's going to start off blocking. Then he runs his slant. Things are wide open because they're showing that screen. Tough, man. It's going to be tough. All right, now these are drags. So they run drags at almost 9%. This could be a man beater. Very difficult to, cover those drags whenever you're playing man. It could also be a zone beater. Like right there, the defense is playing zone. So they just run everybody off with a whole bunch of vertical routes. And then here, this is a man beater. So that other guy that was running that drag, he could pick the guy that's, if he's playing at star or corner or safety or linebacker that's covering that drag, they can end up picking them off. So a whole lot of like pick routes. And listen, sometimes flags get thrown, but if teams kind of like live like this, they're not going to throw that flag every single time. You just have to hope that they throw it in the most critical situations. These are posts, which Syracuse runs, or they ran at 5.5% last year. I think that, these numbers will probably look very similar. Typically, teams kind of have like a set, not even standard, but just like a set kind of like rhythm that they get into. So, probably we'll see several of the same things. And, that post, I mean, look at that pass, that's an NFL window. Like I said, they're not going to be scared to throw these types of passes, but this is the opposite of a post. This is a corner. So, it can come from any different type of way, like however you want to slice it. Ton of stress on our defense, specifically for our stars. One of the things that I think that Coach Banks is going to try to do, which most really good coordinators will do, is, hey, man, we're going to take away one set thing. What's that one set thing? Typically going to be like what scares you the absolute most, which is more like over the top stuff, which is why I'm saying Tennessee might play more like two high safeties, especially because that safety room is so young, but you love your stars. Maybe more like cover two man. I would like to see that, but as we get closer to kickoff, we'll break it down even more. But just wanted to share this with everybody. Please leave your thoughts down in that comment section and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll be talking to y'all later on. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.